So, for context, the waste heat from a data center, because a data center in reality, like it converts electricity to heat,
basically,
and
everything that goes in
through the process of
bits and bytes,
yeah. But the bits and bytes aren't reducing its efficiency; it's heat efficiency.
Yeah.
It's that rather than it just being a bar heater, in the process of producing the heat, it happens to do all of this computation and storage, etc. And we are, everyone's very aware of the number of data centres we currently have in Ireland, the strain that they're putting on the electricity system, and that there's a desire to bring more on in some regards, or certainly a desire from the data centre industry to join. But it'd be great if you could talk us through this because it means that they can actually be a key contributor to our heating sector.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the kind of biggest waste heat sources that we have at the moment, particularly in Dublin. So I suppose it's a good match. Usually kind of industries and that will be kind of located far away from, you don't want your waste incinerator beside your cities normally. We're lucky to get the one that we did in Dublin City Centre in that location. But usually they're put far away. And I suppose data centres all follow, I think it's called the T50, I think it's the name of the kind of the fibre network around the Dublin region. So they're all very close to obviously heat demands. So it's the location of the obviously the heat supply and the heat demand together. And what we did in Tallaght was, there was a new phase being built of an Amazon Web Services centre in the middle of Tallaght on the top of Bellegarde Road. We had already been looking at the technical feasibility of district heating in that area because South Dublin County Council's buildings, we had the Tallaght Hospital, we had TUD campus there. And I suppose those kind of key public sector buildings are kind of what we would call anchor loads for a network. So they're the kind of ones you tap into first, you get them on board and you can kind of connect everything in between then and start to grow the network off the back of those. So the data centre then, I suppose, had a planning requirement that the waste heat would be provided to a network when it was built. So the data centre then gives off about 25 degree waste heat. Obviously the existing buildings anyway that we're retrofitting for district heating require 70, 80 degrees. So we boost that then through. So the energy centre is being built and in there that's going to have large scale heat pumps. So 3 megawatts of heat pumps and backup electric boilers. So there's no gas on site, no fossil fuels on site, no flues, no nothing. So that obviously transforms the low temperature waste heat from the data centre, boosts that up to the required temperatures. And we can obviously higher and lower that then for summer and winter as well. So there's that kind of flexibility. And then we take out the gas boilers in the existing buildings and replace them with heat exchangers. So I suppose one of the advantages for the consumer then as well is you've just got a heat exchanger. You've no gas connection, you've no boiler, you've no carbon monoxide risks, you've no all those safety issues that come with combusting fuels like on site. So I suppose all those buildings now have extra space that they can use. And then as soon as, it's like build it and they will come. So every developer that's looking at doing or building anything around that area now are all asking us, when can we connect to the district heating network? Because the advantages for them are huge. They don't have to invest in any on-site renewables to meet their renewable requirements. They can basically tap into the renewable element from the district heating network. So again, the developer saves space, saves money on it's just a heat exchanger, very, very small. I mean, this take about half a car park space for an apartment block. Is the size of the unit required, the kind of heat substation. So no hassle then for them, in terms of supplying heat to, the gas boilers into each apartment, none of those issues. So for them, we're getting inundated with requests to know when they can connect. So
and the nugget on top that it's nicer to live in a house with district heating.
Yeah,
which is sometimes everyone thinks decarbonisation comes at a lifestyle cost. Like both of us have lived in homes with district heating. It's a far more enjoyable thing to live with. You have literally 24/7 on-demand heating and hot water. So you just pay in the same way that you pay for electricity for whatever you need. Instead of now having to go and turn on an immersion or turn on a boiler because you need some heat, you just turn on the tap and you get hot water and you pay if you use it and you don't if you don't. And for heating the same.